If you don't have an estate plan yet, there's a good chance that it's not because you don't think it's important. You need your estate plan. You know you need a plan for what happens to your kids, what happens with your assets, your home, your savings, your investments. And you know there's things you should be putting in place to protect your family. But knowing that you need to get your estate plan done and actually getting your estate plan done, well, those are two different things. And that gap between the two is where a lot of people can kind of get stuck. Maybe you don't know where to start. Maybe you don't know if you need a will or a trust. I mean, if you ask Google, you're going to get a whole lot of different opinions on it. If you ask friends, colleagues, relatives, you're going to get a whole different, set of opinions and experiences and advice as to what is right for you and what's right for your family. And then also, for a lot of people, they just, they put it off and they don't know where to start. They don't know what they need. They're busy, with work and family, if you have kids. And it also can just kind of feel like overwhelming and one of the things you'll get to someday. And also, let's be honest, a conversation about estate planning is not one that you want to have. Nobody wants to have that conversation, even though we all know it's necessary. Talking about what's going to happen after you pass away is not a conversation that you want to have with a lawyer that you've never met and worried about what it's going to cost, right? How expensive it's going to be. And just thinking you'll put it off for someday. But we want to make sure we're not waiting until we need it before we do it, because at that point, it's too late. And my goal is to move you from being uncertain, being unsure, to having some clarity about what estate plan is right for you, what's best for your family, and how and where to go to get help. I'm Darcel Lobo, an estate planning attorney in the Norway Park area. I own Dow Law Firm. Let's talk about estate planning and let's help you get your estate plan done. Because I want to get you from knowing you need to get the estate plan done, but it not being done, to a place of knowing it's done, knowing what it says, being clear, and being able to rest assured that there is a plan in place to protect your family, to protect your assets, and you don't have to worry about it anymore. It doesn't have to be on your to-do list anymore. So a lot of times when I meet with clients for the first time for the consultation, they've already put a little bit of thought into kind of what they want. They're not starting from zero. There's no plan in place, but they kind of have some ideas in their head as far as what they want to go to who they'd want to provide for their children, who they want to be in charge, what distributions they want. They kind of have put, maybe some thought into some things. Maybe they even have made arrangements already for a burial or for cremation. They've thought about some of these things, but there hasn't been a plan put onto paper. And they're not really sure how all those decisions come together in an estate plan. And that's totally understandable, because you'll get online, you'll start Googling about wills, about revocable living trusts, about power of attorneys, about directives, about beneficiaries and probate and estate tax. And it's just oh my gosh, there is so much. I don't even know where to start. Now I'm even more confused than I was before I started my Google search. And I just don't want to deal with this. That's usually kind of the journey. And here's what I want you to understand is that when you have a consultation with our office, you don't have to have made all these decisions. You don't have to have it all figured out. That's what I am here for. That's part of the service that I provide to you, is helping you figure that out and guiding you in making those decisions. So if you've made all those decisions, great. Let's make sure it's what you want. Let's make sure your objectives are being met, and let's get a plan in place. But if you don't know, that's okay also. We will meet by phone, over Zoom, in person, and we'll talk about just what do you want? And I will help you figure out the plan to make that happen. That is my job as your attorney, is to help you take the plan that you want and make that a reality for you and for your family. So I just need to know when I meet with you, what is important to you? What matters to you? I'll figure out the plan. You don't have to come in knowing the plan and knowing the documents and understanding everything. That's not your job. That's my job. So we will work together to figure out what plan is right for you. And my goal for you as my client is that I want you to understand what the plan is, what the plan says, how it's going to work. That is my job. That is my goal. That is what I strive for. And that's why I make these videos. That is why I write a blog. That is why there's so much content and information on our law firm's website. Because I want you to have the information. I want to make it not so scary, not so complicated, and something that can give you peace of mind in knowing that there's a plan in place and it's all taken care of. Because that's what you want at the end of the day, is just the peace of mind of knowing the plan is in place and what you want to have happen is what's going to happen. And one of the ways to approach this or to think about it is to think about what do you want the outcome to be? And don't worry so much about the documents, right? Because that's where all the confusion comes in, all the legalese and what does this mean, right? Let's just think about what is the outcome that you want to have happen. If something were to happen to you tomorrow, what would you want to have happen? If you have minor children, who do you want to care for them? Who do you want to be in charge of your assets and following your estate plan after you've passed? If you are hospitalized, who do you want to be able to make decisions for you and talk to the doctors for you? Who do you want to be able to do your banking for you and pay your bills for you and do your taxes for you? If we think about we rephrase it to, who do we want and what outcomes do we want, and not get so caught up on the actual legal documents of it. It's a little bit easier just to kind of have this conversation and think these things through and to kind of flesh them out. And then my job as your attorney is to help you create that plan in the way that's going to be the easiest for your family. So we'll talk about what the options are. I'll explain the documents to you and how they will work. But I just need to know what you want to have happen, what you want the outcomes to be. And then my job is to take that information from you, and then I do the heavy lifting of creating that plan for you. Because my approach is not what documents can I sell you? What plan can I sell you? No. The approach is, what do you want your plan to accomplish? What do you want? And then we just reverse engineer that and work backwards from there. And I create the plan that fits for you. So yes, I have the pricing online, so you know what to expect. But that is not what we lead with. We lead with, what do you want? What's important to you? So when I meet with my clients, sometimes they come in and they have a list of questions. And that is great. We just take them one by one. You ask me your questions and I'm going to answer them for you and give you straight answers. For some clients, they don't have a lot of questions because they don't even know what questions they should be asking, right? And so we just have the conversation where I start asking you questions about what's important to you and what do you want and kind of what you're looking for. And I talk about the different options and the pros and the cons. And then I'm helping you to decide what this plan looks like. Again, I'm going to create it for you, but I'm helping you make these decisions and figuring these things out. I want to get you from uncertainty to clarity. That is the ultimate goal when it comes to estate planning, at least for me in my office. So we're going to talk about kind of your family and your assets and what your concerns are and what you want to have happen and what decisions need to be made. And maybe you'll realize estate planning isn't as complex or scary as I thought it was going to be. It's actually a lot simpler than I thought it was going to be. Or maybe in our conversations, there'll be some things that come up that you hadn't even thought of, that you hadn't considered, and that we're going to talk about and kind of figure out what's going to happen in that scenario. Either way, whichever it is, you're going to leave my office with clarity when we're done. You're going to understand what estate planning is, what it means for you, what it means for your family, and what that plan looks like. So I want you to be able to come to my office or over Zoom or over the phone, and we're talking and you're telling me this is my family, this is what I own, these are my concerns, this is what I'm worried about, and what should I be considering, what should I be thinking about? And then I am there to guide you through these questions and through these concerns and helping resolve those issues for you. And then once we figured out what it is that you want, once I figured out what your objectives are, what your goals are, what your priorities are, then again, that's where I'm working backwards and figuring out what the plan needs to be. Whether it's a will, whether it's a revocable living trust, what you want for your power of attorneys, for healthcare decisions, for financial decisions, what you want in your directives, and all these different components make up your estate plan. It is a comprehensive plan you're going to leave with when we are done. All these documents work together. And this estate plan that we create for you is going to be a consistent, essentially like a story. Like if you can't make decisions for yourself, here's who's going to make them. If you pass away, here's what's going to happen. Here's who I want to protect, and here's how I want everything to be handled. And that's when you stop having this collection of like unanswered questions and confusion, and we go to having an actual plan that reflects what you want. So if you are in a place of you don't have an estate plan in place, you know you need one, it's on the back burner, it's on your to-do list, the thought of it kind of stresses you out, worries you, but you kind of just keep pushing it back. Like, let's talk about the other side of this process. Let's talk about when your estate plan is done and it's signed, you've made the decisions, you've identified the people that you trust. You know what's going to happen to your assets. You know what's going to happen if you lose capacity. You know, something like dementia or Alzheimer's, things like that. Like, you know what's going to happen if that were to happen to you. If you have children, you've already made decisions about their inheritance and who's going to care and provide for them. We've handled all the assets, and your family is not left guessing as to what you want, trying to figure it out. That's the destination. That is the end result. Like when we're done, you're going to get your estate planning binder that has all of your documents, all the instructions, all the information for your family as far as what to do and where to go, at that time. But the end result is more than just having that binder and having your estate plan complete. It's knowing that you've handled this, you have taken care of this. There is a plan in place. And if something were to happen to you, the people that you love are not going to be left trying to scratch their head and figure out what to do. Where do I start? Where do I go? Where's the assets? You have already figured everything out for them. There's a comprehensive plan in place. One of the biggest gifts you can give to your loved ones is a well thought out, comprehensive estate plan. That's the goal. That's what we are going to do for you. We are creating clarity for you now, peace of mind of knowing there's a plan in place. And then we're also creating peace of mind and guidance for your family at a later point in time. If you feel like, you can't get your estate plan done, you can't move forward with it because you don't have it all figured out, you don't have it all organized, I want to give you the permission that you don't need to do that. You can stop doing that. You can stop delaying on moving forward just because you don't have everything figured out. You don't need to already know if you want a will or if you want a trust. You don't have to understand probate. You don't have to have every single decision made. And please, you do not have to spend the next 6 months looking things up on Google and researching and chat GPTing everything about estate planning. It's just going to create more confusion and more uncertainty for you. You just need to start the conversation. We will help you identify what information we need, what decisions you need to make, and what estate planning tools make sense for your particular situation. And we'll just take it one step at a time. And so if you're watching this and you don't have your estate plan in place, you are standing on one side of the bridge right now, okay? And you know you need to do something and you just haven't gotten to this other side yet. And that's what we're here for. On this other side is the completed estate plan, where decisions are made, documents are signed, your family is protected, you have peace of mind, knowing there's a plan in place and you have taken care of it. And you don't have to figure out how to cross the bridge from here over to here on your own or figure it out alone. That's what we are here for. We are here to help you and get you across that bridge. And so if you're ready to get started, contact us today. Contact information is below for you to reach out, schedule your consultation, whether it's by phone, by Zoom, or in person. Whatever is easiest for you will help you figure out where you are today, where you want to be, and create an estate plan that gets you there. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.